Hello folks, welcome to my channel. Alright, my name is Aakash and I will be creating projects on this particular channel and creating the programming tutorials so that everyone can understand and everyone has access to understand about it. Alright, so let's get started with the project core intuition about it. So now we will just try to discuss about how we can create a workflow about the project. Alright, so let's open our VS Code. Okay, before going to this folks, code dot is nothing but VS parts folks. Okay, so first we'll understand like what we'll be going to do, what are the things that is required, right? So that is a particular we first agenda is to create how we can create this project first, right? First of all, first whatever consider any application folks, first of all what you have to do is, first of all you have to take care of that you are creating a necessary relevant libraries which is for the project. All right, so like how to create first virtual environment, right? I will be not discussing why should we create the virtual environment. Basically environments why we will be creating, right? There are separate versions of application that you will be going to install in your this project. Okay, so Honda create hyphen p venv. All right, so and another thing is we will be just telling that I wanted to install this particular version itself double equal to 3.8. all right, so let's get started with it. So it will get create the virtual environment for us, right? So I am not any skipping any of the issues if it is coming into the real time. Okay, so I will just show you in your place. Okay, you have to just click on yes, let the every application will get installed in this. Okay, which whatever the required libraries it is there, it will going to install in the venv folder itself. Don't worry about it, it got created venv virtual environment, right? So it is executing the transaction, that is done and executing the transactions. Okay, the next step what you have to do is, see here, this is the thing they are telling, right? So what you have to do is, don't go over here. All right, so go over. Okay, you can take the command prompt. All right, so make sure that you do that. Okay, otherwise you have given the flexibility to write over here, so don't do anything here, only you can just activate that environment. Okay, so it got uh, it got activated here. Okay, control shift p, we just go over here, right? Recently we have created virtual environment, so the environment got created, right? Create one requirements.txt. okay, requirements.txt. all right, so that one libraries we will be having a set of libraries. Okay, so one thing is we required is SQLite database, right? All right folks, so now you have understood how to activate the virtual environment, right? So we have used this library SQLite 3. Let's suppose, right, let's suppose you have this library. Basically we have to just do here pip install hyphen r requirement.txt, right? So what it will do is it will going to install that. Okay, so whatever the libraries we have already like inbuilt, if you install the Python, right? So all the things will be going to install over here. Okay, so right now what we'll be going to do is we will just right straight away we'll just try to create the application part. Okay, we're not going to creating an applications, right? All right, so we'll just get started with that. Okay, all right, so this is a thing, everything has installed. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll just try to create a main.py. all right, so you can create any application name folks, like for the starting a function name, so that's why I have created a main.py. That is not general rule that you can create any name of your choice. Okay, you can just write a to do app underscore main or something like that. Alright, so first of all, we'll be what is the main purpose of the main.py? We'll just try to create the initializing the database, that is a SQLite. We'll define the database schema, right? What are the things that is required for us, right? So we'll do that for the particular purpose. Okay, so we'll just try to import SQLite, right? Then we will create a connection to the database or to it. Create a connection for database to create it. Database to create it. Create a database, create it. Okay. Alright. So first what we'll be going to do, creating a connection. So what we'll be going to write, con one variable which is equal to SQLite 3. Okay, library SQLite 3 dot connect one function is there. So what you will be going to write, that I wanted to connect with this DB, so to do dot DB. Okay, so it will be going to create that. Okay, connection we are just building here, not other than that, nothing. Okay, we are creating a cursor object to execute the SQL command. Cursor is something, folks, right? If you want to execute the SQL queries, right, that is a cursor that is will help you out. Okay, we are creating the cursor object to execute SQL commands, SQL queries or commands, right? So for that we are using that basically. Alright, so what we'll be going to do, cursor which is equal to connection. With the help of connection we'll try to execute the commands, right? This is a function basically. Understood, right? This is a steps that you have to help you out. So you have to just connect the DB, you have to just create a cursor object, so that with the help of connection, right? Then you have to create the task, the table if it doesn't exist. You have to create the table if doesn't exist. Create a table if doesn't exist. Create a table if it doesn't exist. Okay, this is a particular thing we are just trying to create it. Okay, we have to create a table if it doesn't exist. Okay, so we'll try to create a command over here. Okay, so what we'll be going to do with the help of cursor, what we'll be going to do, we'll be executing the commands, execute the queries, right? So we'll just try to create a function over here. So what is that function? In that function, what we are trying to do it here, basically we are telling that create a table if not exists tasks. Means table, create table if not exist tasks table. Okay, we are creating by name task table. Okay, understand like this. Okay, alright, so this is a thing. So what we'll be going to do, create table, create a table if not exists tasks, right? Task. In that what we want, basically we want a ID, we want a task. Okay, make sure that ID should be a primary key. Okay, so for that what I am doing, integer primary key. All right, primary comma task. So what we will be going to do is whatever the task we are adding, right, it should not be null. Text not null, text not null. All right, so this is a particular thing which we are trying to do. So we are just saving this file, right? First we are committing the changes and close the connection. We are committing the changes, commit the changes and close connection. Commit the changes, connection dot commit, connection dot commit and connection dot close. So we'll just close that connection part, okay, right now. So this is a particular set of action you have to do it, folks. Okay, all right. So to implement the CRUD operations, okay, so you can create CRUD.py. You can just reuse that particular code. Okay, so for that I will be not creating a separate files over here. Okay, so what you can do is con.py, then you can just use that file basically. But for now, to demonstrate you, so what I am doing is straightforwardly I am using this basically. Okay, so step number 2, what we'll be going to do is we'll initialize the database. Okay, step number 2. Okay, initialize the database. So initialize the DB. Okay, so there are like we will be going to create, read, update and delete CRUD operation basically. Separate functionality will be going to do. One is a create, okay, def a create underscore task of which particular parameter, task basically. Here we just try to do it. Okay, one function we are doing like this, create read task basically, read a task, right, and update the task, update underscore task. This is a function which we are doing here. Okay, all right, update and delete. All right, so this is a function we'll be going to do, delete a task. Okay, don't worry folks, maybe the video is like slightly will be long. Okay, so understand the core intuition behind it, like how the things will be going to work. All right, so what we'll be going to do is basically here read, update and delete we have done, right? So if we want to delete a task, basis on what? Basis on ID, which particular ID that you wanted to delete. Like let's suppose you are writing one particular push you have written, right, per task that you have written. So we want to delete the task basis on the ID, right? So create, if you want to create a task, let's suppose forget about all these things. Okay, we'll just try to implement CRUD operation. We have to implement, it's all right. Okay, I will just give you a chance to read, update and delete. Okay, I will just try to explain you like how to create a task basically. Okay, first of all, what you have to do, that you have created a connections, right? Let's suppose you have created a connection. Otherwise what you can do is basically folks, right, I have created here con, right? So separately first we'll do this part first, okay, then rest of the things I will just explain. Con which is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect, right, connect. Here what I will do is todo dot db, todo.db, okay, todo.db. So we'll just try to connect this database first, right? So next thing what we'll be going to do, second thing is we have to create a cursor, right? That is basically the meaning cursor object to execute the command connection dot cursor. Okay, all right. So this is a particular thing, connection dot cursor. All right. So this is a particular thing. Now we have to execute the query. The cursor dot execute, right? We'll just open the command execute, and we'll just try to use that particular query. Insert into tasks table with the task values. Okay, task with the task values. Whatever the values you will be getting, right, that will be going to insert it here. Task with the whatever the task which we have defined, right? Whatever the task which we have named, that task with this particularly, and we'll just close the connection, commit this changes, commit it. Alright, we'll just commit it and we'll just close the connection. Okay, alright. So this thing you have understood, I guess, right? So we'll just try to implement in next, like update, read, update and delete. So first let's get started with the main function. We'll just try to call that. Alright, so okay, so for that what we'll be going to do, def function main, in that we'll just try to execute here in the while loop repetitively, but while true, while condition, unless and until it's true, we'll just try to tell that print list menu, right? Alright, we'll be going to print that. Then we'll just say that print function, if the option is number 1, add a task. Okay, we'll just try to, okay, if it is second, just do the view task. 2, viewer task, that is a read view a task. 3, update a task, and this is a delete a task. Alright, so these are the set of option menus is there. Okay, alright, so this is a 4th, fourth, and fifth is exit. Okay, fifth is exit, fifth exit. Alright, so this is a particular thing. Now let's suppose if he chooses choice which is equal to 1, right? So we have to write the condition in what we are just checking there. If a choice is equal to 1, if user has selected 1, right? So for choice, right, for choice what we have to do, we have to take an input for that, right? So how to do that? So we'll just do the choice here, choice which is equal to input function, enter the task, enter a task. Okay, so like this. So if a choice is equal to 1, then what we will be going to do, you will be telling that to create a task, right? Create task with the task, right? Create a task which specify task. You should specify the task, right? Create a task. What is the function here? We have anything, create a task with the task. And just print task added to list. Okay, alright, so this is done right now. So what we have to do right now is basically, so we have to call this function basically right now. So what we'll be going to do, if name underscore name which is equal to main underscore. Okay, we'll just try to execute the main function. So we'll just save this file, we'll just try to execute this particular. So what will happen, how the things will be working out, I will explain. Py main, just to make sure that you have saved the, then just see file, save all, right? Maybe the one times it happens that you have saved the file controllers, but it will not reflect the changes there. Okay, so we'll just try to see. So what it is telling, enter a task, to-do list items, add a task. So what it is telling, task is not defined. Where it has gone wrong, task is not defined. It is telling that name error, name task is not defined. So I will explain you, okay, afterwards what we are making a changes. Okay, so I will just give it to you folks, like what is the changes that we can do it, what mistakes we are doing, just by the time figure out